Do you ever wonder how well your district is doing at educating your kids? Are they preparing them for the next steps of their education, or are they just pushing them through the system? Well, stick around and we will show you how to dig into the academic progress of your local school district utilizing the Illinois Interactive Report Card. Welcome back to the Impact 20 channel, where our mission is to empower both the Oregon School District and the community to inspire impactful changes that enhance the overall educational experience of our children. All right. Welcome back, and thank you again for joining us here. So last time we went over the district snapshot, and we kind of gave an overview of the Illinois report card. And today what we're going to do is we're going to dig a little bit deeper. I already have the report card pulled up here and into the district that I want to analyze, which is our local district, Oregon, CUSD 220. So what we're going to do here is we're going to actually click into the academic progress. And this pulls up a bunch of little knowledge cards. And these actually are directly correlated to the vertical menu that you see over here on the other side. Either way that you want to dig into any of these, you can either click here or click on any of the knowledge cards. First card we have is the IAR, and this is the Illinois Assessment of Readiness. And this is a standardized test that is given to every 3rd through 8th grader and gauges their readiness to be moved on to the next grade level in both the English and language arts as well as mathematic core subject areas. And then you have the SAT. This shows the percentage of 11th graders scoring at each of the performance levels on the SAT. Here you have the DLM. This is the Dynamic Learning Maps assessment. And this is given to students with a cognitive disability. In this case, you see no data because anytime that there's less than 10 students, the information is hidden. So that way you can't quickly identify who those students are within a district. Here you have the science assessment. And this is the percentage of students who are proficient on the Illinois Science Assessment. And here we have no data because in 2020, we didn't do any standardized testing. And here you have the growth IAR. This is the growth of students relative to other students in the state with the similar score the previous year. Here's your participation rate of what percentage of students district-wide are taking the standardized testing. This is your performance scatter plot. And what this does is shows how the school compares to other schools across the state on the SAT, but this shows how the school performs on different metrics. It can take into account different demographics or other outside factors that affect the educational process. This here is the percentage of students that are passing Algebra 1 at the 8th grade level. That's not a state standard, and this is a really misleading metric because typically at the 8th grade level, you're taking a pre-algebraic class, and you're not taking Algebra 1 till high school. This is the number of students the percentage of students that are on track to graduate at the end of the 9th grade year. This is a metric that's supposed to show the percentage of students that are college and career ready, but due to COVID again, the numbers are not there. This is the early college coursework. This shows the total number of students taking early college coursework in grades 9, 10, 11, and 12, and the type of coursework. Once you dig into this, you can see the type of coursework they're taking as well. This is the district's graduation rate. Here we can see the percentage of students that are enrolled in post-secondary education within 16 months of graduating from high school. And here is the number of students the percentage of students that are taking college remediation classes at a local community college after graduating. So they may be enrolled in community college, but of those that are enrolled in a community college, 45% of them need to take a remediation course to get them brought up to speed and ready for college. So now we're going to dig into one of these here real quick to kind of show you the true capabilities of this system. And we're going to use the IAR for that example. All right, upon clicking into the IAR, we can see that we have a little drop down right here where we can choose either the overall or we can look at grades and demographics. For right now, I'm just going to leave it on overall. And then here we can toggle between ELA and mathematics, ELA being English Language Arts, and then math being math. And I'm going to kind of glaze over the 2021 because this is not really representative data. Due to COVID in 2020, there was a lot of disruption to the educational environment. And these numbers are going to take a little bit of time to get students brought back up to speed. So I'm going to go pre-COVID and look at 2019. And this shows you how the district is comparing against the state. So here we can see 25% of students are meeting or exceeding, so 25% are proficient and ready to move on to the next level, versus the state average of 38%. And this is all in the ELA core subject area. Now, if we click into grade and demographic, we can narrow this down and look at individual grades for a year. So I'm going to go back to 2019. We're going to add that year. And then we're going to look, let's say, at grades 3, 4, and 5. This shows you a breakdown of how students did in the calendar year of 2019, how the third graders did, how the fourth graders did, and then how the fifth graders did. So we see here 39.3% were proficient and ready to move on. Here we have 24.3% ready to move on, and here we have 21%. So you can see as students are going through the different courses, they're actually losing the number of students that are proficient and ready to move on. This is concerning. So another thing you can look at here is also by demographic. So you can, let's say, look at low income. So we'll add that demographic. So this is how all students performed. And then down here, we can compare that against how just low income students performed. And we can see here that we have a gap. We have just over 33% or just over 32.7% of students versus the 39%. So the low income students are not getting the equal level of education. Here we have basically 12% of fourth graders that took the test in 2019. 14% were ready to be moved on from the low income students versus the 24.3%. So 10% less low income students are just not getting the equivalent education. This is something that the district should be looking at. What are they doing? These are questions you can ask your local board. What are you doing to engage low-income students better? These are the type of questions that can come up for you. The other thing that I wanted to take a look at was post-secondary enrollment. This shows you the district average and the state average. And you can see here for Oregon, they are on average significantly lower number of students are enrolling in post-secondary education 16 months out of graduating from high school. So we have in Oregon in 2017, we had 65% of our students attending a post-secondary versus the state average of 73 within 16 months. Now we're down to 57%, 54%. In 2019, we were at 56%. This shows us that our kids are not choosing to go into a post-secondary type environment. So this is basically enrollment in a 2 or 4 year college. So this could include trade type coursework at the local community college. Here, if we dig into the community college remediation, so the graduating class of 2019, we can see here that 45% of our students needed to have additional remedial coursework while attending a community college versus the state average of 39. Here we can see it again. We had 94 students graduate, 29 of them attended a community college, which is 30.9, so we'll say 31%. Of that 31%, 13 were required to take remedial coursework to get them brought up to speed and be ready for actual college coursework. It just means we're pushing our students through the education system without actually getting them ready for real life. And that's another very concerning thing that, if you see something like this is a great question to ask your board. The other one I want to jump into real quick was the performance scatter plot. So here on the x-axis, we can see that this is the percent of low income within a district. Here's the overall percent proficient on the SAT. And what we can look, because we're looking at the SAT up here, and this is in the ELA core subject. The red triangle here is our local district, and all these other little blue dots you see around, these are other districts throughout the state. So we can see here, this is low. These are districts with very low percentage of low income. So very high income districts, and this is their proficient rates. But the ones to kind of look at is like this. They're at a 62% low income. This is Clay City, but yet they're still getting a 50% proficiency rate on the SAT. This is something that, this is a great thing to see within a district. Now, on the other hand, you don't want to be this district because this is showing you that you only have a 17% low income, but you're only getting 20% of your students proficient on the SAT. So these are, again, this is a good metric to look at. And you can look on the IAR, you can look at, mathematics, you can change the different demographic aspect that you want to compare. There's just a ton of information that you can dig into in terms of the academic progress of students within your district. Thank you again, guys, for joining me today and kind of going over the academic progress section of the Illinois report card. On the next video, we're going to go over the district environment, and probably administrators. We'll probably cover quite a bit of this area through here on the next one and try to chunk it all together. Again, thank you guys for your time, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for joining us today. If you like what you heard, don't forget, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with our most current information and content. And as always, Impact 220's mission is to empower both the Oregon School District and the community to inspire impactful changes to enhance the overall educational experience of our children.